Welcome to Reelshock, the good, the bad, and the what the fuck, where I show an unsuspecting guest the worst, weirdest, and most disturbing films of all time so you don't have to. With me today is my good buddy Mo, who has agreed to watch this 80s sci-fi gore fest. Is that pretty accurate?
No, not gore fest.
I'm your host, Jay, and we are diving deep into David Cronenberg's Videodrome.
Reelshock.
Videodrome. The most provocative motion picture experience of our time. First, it controls your mind. Then, it destroys your body.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching.
My God, it was a watch.
It's hard to make people get into watching anything, let alone something gross or horrible that they don't want to watch.
Yeah, I go by the motto of not looking at a trailer, reading any synopses. That way I go in fresh. Learn that from the wife.
Yeah, I don't even tell people the names anymore. Like, I'll tell you the names. I trust you. But there's so many people that will go straight to looking it up. And so I'm like, no, I'm not even going to tell you anymore. I'll just give you a film the day before, and that's that.
Yeah, worked out great.
Speaking of giving a film, I do like to have physical media, and I love to have every copy of the movies that we talk about on here. I meant to give this to Mo, but he lives a little bit far away, and we couldn't meet up. Finally, I'm like, just fucking, here's a website. So we did the cardinal sin of watching it on a website instead of this beautiful Criterion Collection Videodrome.
Yeah, we don't have to admit that.
I mean, it's in my heart that we did the dirty.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
There's some piracy in there, so
Definitely piracy.
it's only apropos that we piracy it as well.
I like that word. Okay. Yeah. It's actually very accurate to what was happening. How I made you watch Videodrome is kind of what Videodrome is.
Yeah.
First reactions without spoilers.
Trippy, I expected worse from a 90s, what era was
80s.
this? 80s movie. I expected the writing to be worse. The acting was a little cringe at times, but it was very mysterious and trippy.
82. I've never found Cronenberg's movies to have good acting. I love David Cronenberg. I love his ideas, but he seems to just go with whoever's around. He's very Canadian. I don't think he goes outside of the box very much. He just gets whoever's in Toronto that he can get, and it's not always the best choice.
Yeah, I only noticed it was in Toronto because of the TTC streetcar that rolled by. Then I randomly saw the Canada Dry Ginger Ale vending machine.
I would not pick up on either of those.
And then finally he goes to this boat to get away from everything near the end. We'll get into that, but
The harbor?
it says Toronto something.
Oh, it does?
On the sign.
Well, I think they're meant to be in Toronto because at one point when he's mentioning Pittsburgh, that's it. Pittsburgh, he says Pittsburgh, USA. You wouldn't say that if you were in the USA.
No, and he also starts talking about what the laws in Pittsburgh are like. Because like in Brazil, you get executed for having subversive videos shot underground.
I did not catch that.
And then he's like, and we don't know what Pittsburgh's like. It's really random. It's like
Deep in Toronto, we have
That's where I'm
no
like-
idea what's going on in Pittsburgh. So this is a unique horror. It's not really horror. It's body horror meets psychological sci-fi. I can't name anything else that really does that. I mean, there's some cosmic horror out there, but that's its own thing. That's cosmic horror.
Yeah,
Psychological sci-fi is a very weird thing.
this has a dystopian sci-fi to it because it really goes into here's a video cassette to wake you up to.
Yeah.
And the guy's secretary drops it off and is like, here's your morning cassette. At the beginning of the movie, the secretary opens up and wakes the person up, the main character. But then that video is like 10 seconds long. She could have just told him that news when she had dropped the cassette off the night before.
Let's get into it. We're already talking about what's happening. Let's start from the beginning.
Videodrome.
We've got Max Wren, who is played by James Woods. I'm not a big James Woods fan normally. I think this won me over, and then after Videodrome, I loved him from then on. He runs a sleazy TV station, Civic TV, which is just looking for edgy. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just porn, right?
No, it's a Friday night city TV. They played anything, and then
that's such an obscure reference.
And then at 10 p.m., the softcore would come on.
The lights go out. The kids are hiding, watching their TVs.
My parents had us up. They were doing whatever, and upstairs. We're in the basement turning on City TV after dark. I don't know what it was called.
Also, I don't know if you had it, Showcase. It always showed Cronenberg films.
No, the rich families had Showcase.
It wasn't Showcase. It wasn't like HBO and Showcase. It was something else.
Show something. I know what you mean.
Like 39 was
the guy
the channel.
from X-Files.
Yep.
What's that?
Red Shoe Diaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Red Shoe Diaries.
And Crash, where the car crashes in sex, that's a Cronenberg film.
Oh.
Crash was on there a lot.
Okay.
A lot of Cronenberg on there.
I looked it up. I understand where Cronenberg style was in.
Where everyone in the world got genetically Cronenberg. We'll fit right in Cronenberg, Morty. It'll be like we never even left Cronenberg world. Yeah, Cronenberg, Rick. But, I'm going to miss Cronenberg world.
In The Fly. Yeah. I saw The Fly when I was younger, and I was like, this is a trippy movie.
Once you see The Fly, The Fly is like his most normal movie now.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
There's nothing normal about The Fly.
I don't know. Just maybe I knew Cronenberg already.
I think The Fly is
great.
way grosser than this. No, maybe the same.
It could be grosser, but it's there's a reason this guy is turning into a fly. It's not trippy. It's not
Right.
doesn't make. We're gonna get into some really weird stuff here.
Yeah.
Who discovers the pirate version of Videodrome? Is it his buddy?
The guy who works with him?
So he just says, "Hey, I've found something," which is again just softcore porn. In this case, like torture porn.
Yeah, snuff.
This is snuff. Why are they under the delusion that this is regular TV? They picked it up pirated and they're watching it. It's clearly a real snuff film.
Yeah.
But for some reason he's like, "Ooh, that's great acting."
Let's figure out where this is from. Let's get more of it. Got to put this on my channel.
That's probably the only unbelievable thing. The reason why I'm still into the movie at this point is because it's kind of dystopian. I don't know what year it is. It doesn't feel like it's the 80s. I feel like it's supposed to be the future, but it didn't get evolved the future.
Yes.
So this is what they watch on TV. This is like normal after hours smut.
Yeah, it's like it's still retro, but at that time it was, to them, it was futuristic, right? Because you got video cassette waking you up, you get your secretary dropping it off. World is video. It's kind of like that, except taken way further, right?
This is a kind of reminder that everyone's looking for new and edgy and something crazier. It reminded me of today's algorithms. So they're trying to find, instead of like YouTube showing you stuff, they have to do the finding. They are the algorithm showing you like, hey, we got to find this new smut to throw in your face.
Yeah, definitely. Shocking people. I liked Mr. Oblivion's philosophy that the TV is more real than real life.
After all, there is nothing real outside our perception of reality.
Yeah, I didn't understand what he was saying. I was hoping you would touch up on that because a guy comes on, Mr. Oblivion, and what is he? Like, he's almost like an influencer, kind of.
Yes, exactly.
And he is talking hardcore about television, really, taking over us. He was kind of in support of it, though.
Yeah, then there's something going on with the cathode ray.
Names designed to cause the cathode ray tube to resonate.
And he's talking about
I
how
don't
TV is
know what that
life
is.
now.
What is that?
I don't know. I have to Google that. We're going to have to look that up. But yeah,
It's hard to follow this film. There's a lot going on. It seems slow and basic, but there's like little information that you actually have to pick up on to understand later on in the film. On my second watch, I was still like trying to grasp all this information they're throwing at me.
it was choppy at first, like most 80s, 90s movies are. But then on second watch, I definitely picked up on the character development more. His erratic behavior was really coming through.
Who is this, Max? You can call him James Wood. You won't mind.
Yeah, James Wood. I don't think I've seen many James Wood movies, but it was odd seeing him so young with a big head and the scrawniest body.
He had a scrawny
wearing
body. He's
a raincoat with the collar popped up.
When he's got his shirt off, his like chest is like encaved. It's like, how are you that small?
That's what men used to look like.
Yeah, real men. So let's introduce Nikki. Nikki meets Max. I don't really remember how they met.
On that
the
TV
talk show. Was it? Yeah, where Mr. Oblivion was a guest as well.
Rena King show.
Rena King show, okay.
Yeah.
And Nikki and Max hit it off. They have a little night of intimacy, but it's a weird night.
The hitting off part was weird. That was pure male toxicity. On live TV, turns around and goes, "I'd like to take you out for dinner."
Yeah, he's chatting her up, and it's just not believable at all. And she's like so into it right off the bat. I think she was even against like kind of the male idea at first.
Yeah.
She was there to talk about that, and he still like does that same thing that she hates, and it picks her up.
Yeah, there was no Riz, so I don't understand how the date happened.
That's 80s Riz.
Is it?
That's 80s
just turned
Riz.
around, and go, I'm gonna take you out. Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah. That confidence that's like, who cares that we're on TV? Like, what are you doing tonight?
And they kept talking while Mr. Oblivion was being asked questions.
That's why I refuse to appear on television. Except on television.
I thought it was rude.
Very rude.
I was a little annoyed that he's talking and they were just chatting it up, and it kept cutting to them, and I thought someone was going to be like, shut up. So he has a little night with her, and she's a little bit of a kink freak.
It was quite the turn. The right turn to be like, do you have any porn? Puts me in the mood.
Again, this is very written by a male. It kind of takes you out a bit. I don't know if this was all right in the 80s, because he's like, what woman is going to watch Videodrome at the time
Yeah.
of 82? So maybe he's like, this is for like teenage boys.
Yes.
He shows her the pirated feed. They have a little sexy time after she revealed she likes to be cut with a switchblade.
She is a masochist.
Yeah.
It was weird that all I could think about was when he was piercing her ears.
Yeah.
Is he sanitizing that needle? That needle looked like a long nail. And then he goes to do the other ear and she's just moaning. And I'm like, this is weird.
And even that kind of actually grossed me out. That was a real shot then, right? Someone really got their ears pierced in that shot.
No, I think it was probably pre-pierced and they just put a tool into it, making
Oh,
it
that makes
think
a lot more
she's
sense.
getting
Why did
pierced
I
for the
think
first
someone was
time.
getting it pierced for the first? I didn't mean her. Her is actually Blondie, by the way. Did you know that was Blondie?
Blondie the...
That's Blondie.
Well,
Yeah.
no, didn't know.
They don't use her singer name once. Like, if that was Cher, it's going to be Cher.
Yeah.
But they said her real name.
She did well.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I liked that like 80s like girl who, you don't see too often. And I'm like, who is this? This is a great actress. It was Blondie.
Confident in what she liked. She's like, comes over to a dude's home first date. Let's watch some.
Yeah, I
Gets
don't know.
right into it. What was more jarring though during that scene? I mean, I like the mood. They randomly put a blanket on his living room floor in front of the TV. But what really was odd is, when you hear too much mouth noises?
Yeah.
The making out.
Much like this podcast.
Yeah. A little bit of, what do you call it? ASMR, but it was way too loud.
Videodrome ASMR.
Yeah.
But she's going to Pittsburgh.
But no, she got a gig there, and she kind of put out the idea. What if I went?
So she says.
Yeah, or so she says. We don't know that yet.
I don't know if she got a gig.
But
But she's offered to go seek out Videodrome.
I guessed it right away. As soon as she's like, "Oh, I got a job. Guess where?"
And you guessed it?
The only city that's been named.
guesses this?
Yeah, it's an '80s, '90s movie, right? So like, it's cliche for them to.
Yeah, I guess.
That's why I
I'm
liked.
going right to the spot you just brought up.
Yeah, but I like that the writing in it was really good. There was
Yeah.
a lot of times where they were bringing things back. The city, the biting. The video bites.
That's
And
true.
she's like, "Well, if it bites, what kind of teeth do you think it has?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it gets it was well written. I liked it.
The story is well written. Not so much the dialogue, but the things that they are doing to progress the story is actually really well done.
Yes.
Because this movie could have been really boring.
100%.
It could have been a really boring film, but they know how to like get you to the next scene. He wants to seek out Oblivion. Is it because
Well, he wants to air it on his show, right?
is that why he wants to find Oblivion?
he wants
Someone
to know
told
who-
him to go
who does
find
it.
Oblivion. He will know where Videodrome is.
Yeah, he tells a person he's working with that, it's just cheaper and easier if you just fake the snuff. Obviously, but what about people's safety? Like, people aren't dying if you fake snuff, obviously. But this guy is hell-bent on finding how I can get this aired on my show. Because in the beginning, he meets up with somebody who's selling some sort of Asian porn, Asian softcore.
That man became a minister in Ontario, and the opposition, I don't know what opposition it was, but used that against him. For being in a movie, you were a pornographer in a film. But that man is a minister in Ontario right now.
Terrible. See what men have to go through? We do a little bit of pretend sex work, and all of a sudden...
He ends up getting a Betamax tape. Now, everyone might think this is a VHS tape, but a little known fact, they couldn't use a VHS tape. It was too big for what's going to happen next or later on in the film.
What do you mean it was too big?
A VHS is a little too big, so they had to use what's known as a Betamax. And that's a Betamax.
I don't think I've ever seen a Betamax.
I have never
other than that.
seen it in person. It's just different. It's just a different kind of tape.
Yeah, different format.
Probably shitty. Probably way shittier.
Yeah.
Still got the other side, though. It's still normal.
Man,
He gets a tape.
That just reminds me how the tape like moans and moves.
And it starts pulsing. This is just quivering.
Oh.
And I mean to be gross, because it's so gross how Cronenberg uses these things.
I know this is a little bit further ahead, but he ends up getting a tape and puts it in and watches it, and then his TV starts pulsing.
That's where we're at right now. The TV starts pulsing from him putting in this Betamax tape.
You know, for that era movie, it was really good looking. It looked like a real TV set, and then it starts pulsing, and the veins start popping up, and he's just rubbing this TV, you know?
Yeah, he's rubbing it. Just before that pulsing was Oblivion had come on screen and talked directly to Max. So Max now knows he's tripping balls.
Max, I'm so glad you came to me.
And the facts that Oblivion is telling Max, I don't understand. Videodrome was discovered by him as a tumor in his head or something like that. These facts just get really bizarre.
I think that was a lie, because he
Oh.
had not said that he created Videodrome and tested it out on himself. He just says that there was a tumor, and the tumor was causing the visions.
He doesn't say he started it?
Not on the first tape. I don't
Okay.
think so. But he does say, I'm the first victim, as he...
Well, he didn't start it on purpose. Videodrome is its own thing. And he says he developed the tumor, and that was Videodrome.
I believe the visions caused the tumor and not the reverse. You could feel the visions coalesce and become flesh. But when they removed the tumor, it was called Videodrome.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right,
and
right,
then he
right.
released it. He got it out. There is a scene either before that or after this where there's homeless people watching TVs. That was his plan. That's his daughter running that place. And they're giving the community Videodrome, but to like the homeless.
Yeah, that was really weird, because it was like a soup kitchen TV
Yeah.
place. And they're serving it, and everyone has their quarters.
So right when the TV's pulsing, I wrote down Max fucks TV.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't, it's not how it sounds, but I know if that camera had rolled a little longer,
Oh, yeah.
he's fucking that TV.
Well, at one point, he's putting his face in the TV.
The face is completely in.
Yes.
His head is completely engulfed in this, and you know they're gonna get it on tonight.
Yeah, he's squeezing that TV like he's squeezing a breast. It was really weird. That's why I really liked the effects, as practical as they were. They were still, like, the lips are still moving as he's entering the TV. He definitely fucked that TV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like it gives me potential JD Vance fucking his couch vibes, except this is James Wood. And James Wood would probably own up to fucking his
Wait,
TV.
why does J.D. Vance fuck his couch?
It was just rumored. He, like, out of nowhere, I think in his book,
That's a rumor?
in his book he puts down, or somewhere he's quoted as saying, I've never fucked my couch. But James Wood's fucking his TV, very plausible in this movie.
Yeah, James Woods quoted that in his book, surprisingly enough.
Oh,
I fucked my TV.
I mean,
So
I
that-
fucked the TV too. It's Blondie.
She's in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. She's not around. She's on the TV. It's all good. She was talking to him as well. The TV is just completely communicating with him. So it's not like he just got horny and started fucking a TV that had Blondie on it.
I think that is my favorite twist in this movie. Finding out that Mr. Oblivion is dead and is living through pre-recorded cassette tapes.
Oh yeah, that was his whole thing about Videodrome, is that you can live once your reality is that. What's the difference? He's just living through these.
That
TV.
was mind bending for me, because I didn't expect that. I don't know why. I expected the Pittsburgh line, but I did not see this plot twist that he's already dead.
Yeah.
And that video of him dying was real.
Yeah.
And his daughter is keeping him alive through pre-recorded cassettes.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned his daughter yet, but she was the one running the homeless shelter thing, and he's visited her. I don't remember her name. She is going to play a big part in this, but let's just call her
Oblivion's daughter.
Oblivion's daughter. That makes a lot more sense. His stomach, he had a scar on his stomach.
That scar scene. So we're like, what, 2/3 through the movie?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, he's sitting on his couch.
This is where
with-
we were talking about his body.
Yeah, with the holster on, shirtless. First of all, the holster's supposed to go on top of your shirt, then your jacket. I'm like, that's ominous. And then right away, my eyes went to that weird small scar on his stomach. And you're like, oh, that's some foreshadowing. And not only was that part weird, but then he grabs the gun and scratches his stomach And it's just like, who's scratching
He's
their stomach?
scratching his scar, which we don't even know why the scar's there. Maybe it's explained, but I'm not going to follow the film that much to know why there's a scar. There's like a C-section scar on him. He's scratching his stomach. The cavity, the scar becomes a cavity, which resembles, I assume, a vagina.
I like to say the prison wallet. That's his prison wallet where he puts things in. You know what a prison wallet is?
No, I mean,
To sneak things into a movie, you put it in your prison wallet, which is your butthole. You just anally insert something, then go to jail, and you take.
so
it
you
out.
think there's more of an anus on his stomach?
Oh, it's just a pocket, you know?
Listen, the anus would have looked a lot cooler, but that is definitely a vagina.
You're right.
An anus would have been so much cooler, though.
Yeah, that was a gross looking like blue waffle situation.
There's another Cronenberg film that has like a fake fly, and it's got like an anus on its back, but it's also its mouth. And that's how I know Cronenberg can distinguish an anus from a vagina.
Oh, he knows the difference, eh?
He sticks his gun into the vagina cavity.
Who does that? If you have a cavity, are you gonna put something in there? No, but he's just like, oh, that part was.
It doesn't
was
make
good.
sense why he even did it. He's not even that shocked that he has a giant gaping vagina on his stomach. He loses the gun.
Yeah,
It's gone in there.
it's stored in him.
No gun, no vagina cavity anymore. All of a sudden, both gone. Hallucination. Maybe he never had a gun.
No, and then he just scrambles, and the way he looks for his gun was weird because he stands up because the phone rings.
Yeah.
But then he's like, "Where is that gun?"
Do you want to, before that ice melts, we'll jump to what's going on here?
Yeah. So, given that we're all going through what we're going through here in Canada, and once I clued in, it was shot in Canada, and saw the ginger ale.
Yeah.
On my way out, decided to get us something to cheers to this Canadian film.
Okay. Let's see it. I'm very proud to have Cronenberg in this Canadian film.
We got ourselves some Canada Dry. Brought that over with some Crown Royal.
I love
Black.
Crown Royal.
This'll
I love
get-
it.
This will get the juices flowing. And this is the black, so we're talking
And that one looks really good.
good quality.
Crown Royal Black. I'm sure everybody knows what Canada Dry is. Just because it says Canada Dry, that's still the popular ginger ale in the States, right?
It's the tastiest.
Yeah.
But that was my surprise. As soon as I left the house, I'm like, oh, I gotta. bring
Very
this.
proud of you. Very
bring this.
Canadian. I
There
love
you
this. We're watching a great Canadian film made not far from Mo's house. I bet a lot of it was filmed in, well, we don't want to dox you. We won't say where you're from.
No.
Cronenberg does everything. He's made only one film outside of Canada.
Which one?
My favorite, Cronenberg, Eastern Provinces. It's filmed in England because it takes place in England. Mostly done in Canada when they could. That's the only one. And now back to Videodrome. We were just taking place with a gun getting lost in a man's stomach, and we're now introduced to Spectacular Octical. Did you have any idea what the fuck was going on?
No, again, this film has a way of just introducing characters halfway through, third way through, 2/3 of the way through. Like, hey, here's a plot twist, but included, here's a whole like chapter of people.
This is a company that does eyeglasses and I believe weaponry.
Missile defense
Missile defense.
and also Videodrome.
Yes, they're invested in Videodrome too.
Again, the philosophy, the philosophical undertones or overtones, I should say, is epic because this is a corporation essentially making death, but making cheap glasses for third world countries, but also then Videodrome. It's like their R&D sci-fi division, where both the other two making glasses to help people see in third world countries. Very noble.
Yeah.
But then you got the missile creation or
Yeah.
whatever missile defense they make.
They're playing both sides.
That's a corporation right there.
Barry has summoned Max. Max?
Yeah, he gets picked up by one of the partners that runs Videodrome, and then goes to an optical store and then tries on the most ridiculous glasses.
So they've summoned him here to see why he's doing so well in Videodrome. Because they've had failed results. Is that how he puts it?
Yeah, no one's lasted that long. No one's come back to normalcy after being exposed to Videodrome. But I think it's because James Woods' character lives in
He's been
the
in
TV.
this. He's been like, he doesn't even recognize this as a real thing. He was so engulfed in this.
Yeah,
He's
he's in it.
this is perfect TV for me.
I feel like
he wasn't even like shocked by it.
Yeah, I feel like he's a desensitized person to the TV world.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's out there watching anything from snuff videos to softcore to violence and putting it on his civic channel.
Yeah. And they want to record what he's seeing.
Yeah,
right?
the guy who runs it.
Barry.
So I don't know if you noticed when they first met, he mentioned, "Oh, hey, I have like a trade show coming up this week."
The trade show.
And then they dove into how he should be wearing a thing that records his visions or hallucinations.
So they give him a little head device, and they want to know, what do you see when you're looking through Videodrome? And instantly he sees Nikki, I believe.
Yeah, they wanted to analyze what he sees as hallucination. Sees Nikki in the best way you could see Blondie. I mean, she's out there tied up. He's got the leather whip and just starts going to town.
He's whipping the TV.
But then the TV, she's in the TV.
Yeah.
And then it eventually turns into this older woman that he was working with.
No, this is the woman that told him about Oblivion then.
No, he asked her to go seek out Oblivion.
Oh,
He
okay.
kind of like commissioned her to go find Oblivion. Tell me
Right.
what you know about it. How do I get my hands on it? It was a weird belly dancing restaurant too.
I like that.
It was an odd restaurant to be in, but I guess they existed in Toronto then. Yeah, I think it was a thing having business meetings in risque places like strip clubs
That was quite normal, the strip club kind of meeting, at least
Yeah.
in movies back in the day.
back in the day.
You see that a lot. I'm like, oh, I guess people really did this a lot because I see this all the time.
Yeah, that's why strip clubs were always near airports.
Are
People
they?
would go meet other people for business meetings and then
Right off the plane?
Yeah, 100%. And what else are business people supposed to do while traveling? You know,
Your life is pointless. You might as well just get off a plane and go to the strip club.
right away.
Because
Apparently,
you suck at life, buddy.
and they serve food there, sometimes good food.
You're no Cronenberg. That's what I always tell every business person I meet. You think you're successful? You're no Cronenberg. But
Yeah. Who gets that reference when you say it?
not the business guy. I'll tell you that. He just walks away and hands me change. Cronenberg has said that everything up until Barry puts the device on Max's head was real. And then after that, he can't say what happens. Now, should you trust a director? I don't know. But using that info, that's a different world. Because there was a lot of hallucinations before that. So
Yeah.
that was real.
Oh, you know what hallucination was the first one that I'm like, oh, I think he's hallucinating. Where his secretary comes by to drop off the first Oblivion tape to him, and she goes to grab the Videodrome cassette, and he goes, "Don't touch that!" And he runs over to her and slaps her not once, twice, gives her two good ones, and he sees Blondie
Nikki
in
comes
vision.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's when I'm like, oh no, that must have been a hallucination. And all of a sudden, she's like, "I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for hitting you." And she's like, "You didn't hit me." And he's like, "Yeah, right, I didn't." And they go on.
I don't even like the fact that he says, "Oh, listen, I'm sorry for hitting you," as if that was normal.
Yeah.
She's like, "You never hit me."
Yeah, I didn't feel anything.
Do you think she'd still be there?
Oh man,
If you were smacking the shit out of her? Barry is up to no good. He has sent Max's friend, Harlem, 2 years undercover.
yeah,
2 years undercover to purposely put Videodrome into Max's head?
yeah. That was weird because why would it take 2 years? And why hasn't he been hallucinating for 2 years?
Yeah. Well, he showed him Videodrome too late. He showed him, like, I assume 2 years into it. It's like, so what were you doing for 2 years? How were you explaining to your boss
Yeah,
what you were doing?
that was a backstory that was unnecessary. It didn't have to be 2 years ago.
No, he could have been like for 6 months.
Yeah.
Or
Just a video pirate he met during his line of work.
it could have been, yeah. They send him on a mission to go kill Oblivion's daughter.
Right. Anybody who knows about it.
That's what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Cutting the loose ends, cutting the ties. Now that he is controllable via Videodrome, that means taking a Videodrome tape and sticking it in his stomach like he's getting a script or a mission.
Here's your
inserted.
mission. And they put a Betamax directly into Max's gut, his vagina gut.
Oh, yeah. It was weird.
And Max takes it
Yeah.
like a champ. He's now Videodrome's slave.
Yeah, the tape runs.
Yeah.
It's weird. The things they say, like the flesh, they really reference the flesh a few times, talking about how the flesh is Videodrome.
It's creepy when you say it.
Yeah, flesh is Videodrome?
No, just when you keep saying flesh, you're really
I mean,
flesh.
it's like the word penetrate. You don't use it often enough or
Right.
hear it often enough. So when someone says flesh,
He's now a slave to Videodrome. He tries to take out Oblivion's daughter. It does not work. She reprograms him.
no, she shows him a video.
Yeah. It shoots him. The TV has its own handgun.
The gun comes
Come
out of
out,
the TV.
and blows its own load into James
You know
Woods.
what? You saying that those guns and the hand, the way it was,
Yeah.
it kind of looked like a penis.
A fleshy hand.
Yeah.
And now Max is not a slave to Videodrome, but a soldier
Yes.
of Videodrome. We're trying to describe for the viewers. It is fused gun to a fleshy hand.
Yes. At first, it's a real gun.
Yeah,
Then
it was a real gun at first. That's what
Then he puts it in his prison wallet. Then he pulls it back out at some point, and it starts to.
Oh, that's what it was. He pulled it out
wires.
because he lost it in there. When he pulls it out, it is now like fused to his hand.
Yes.
Which, way ahead of its time, Cronenberg couldn't have known this, but are we not fused to our phones?
Yes. That's what I love about this movie. It had layers of messages to you. Like the TV screen is more real than anything.
Yeah.
And you can have your own reality be whatever you
become
want it to be.
friends. You're invested in these people. You don't know them. And they're not even real. They're characters. But that's how it is. You've made your own reality here.
Yeah, exactly.
You fleshed out your hand.
Oh, that's a good idea. You fleshed out the truth. But yeah, that gun eventually turns into this symbiotic piece of him that melds in with him, and he has to constantly hide his fleshy gun.
Oh, he's got to hide that fleshy gun.
So like his skin takes over the gun. It's kind of like
Yeah, it was a little more mechanic at first, and then it gets fleshier.
yeah, that part was weird.
Yeah. His new mission, to kill Spectacular Optical. He first takes it out on Harlem, his friend.
Right.
So he meets up with Harlem. Harlem's going to give him a new mission.
Yo, Harlem needs to get it.
Is Harlem going to give him that mission?
Does he give it to him?
He gives it to him, and it's not working out for him.
Right.
His hand gets turned into what I didn't understand for a very long time. Now looks like a grenade.
Yes, old fashioned with a handle grenade that you throw, but it's
Right.
fused to his hand is
Right.
the grenade. I didn't know what it was
I didn't
either.
know what that was for the longest time, but the way Harlem explodes, and it's like, that was a grenade.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to get that one. Like 7 watches.
I think for back in then, those times, you knew what a grenade looked like.
It probably looked exactly
Now
like a grenade to them, but yeah,
to
not
us
for
now.
us.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had the fleshy Betamax, sticks it in Max's gut, and out comes a grenade where Harlem is now blown up, and Max has accomplished one half of his mission.
Yeah, he does it so confidently that the guy that he's after blows up next to a brick cinder block wall. There's a hole there, and an explosion happens into this back alley parking lot area, and James Woods' character just casually walks out of the hole.
Yeah.
And there's a mother with her daughter walking by, sees the explosion from the outside, but then continues walking, not batting an eye that James Woods just walked out.
There's a
of
lot of
blown-up
not
hole.
batting an eye. We actually did skip over something. He does kill his friends that he works for at Civic TV.
Oh my God.
And they
So-
let him out of there because it's like, oh my God, like, were you around those gunshots? Like, get out of here, buddy. Run.
the secretary helps him.
You like didn't he was only one in there in the room with them.
Yeah.
And she didn't assume he killed them?
No, he had his hand, he's hiding his flesh gun. And he's like, "Oh, something happened," and he blamed them. I think he said that they were shooting at me. So the secretary thought that he's hurt, James Wood is hurt, and helps him out of the room to get him help. But instead, she kind of aids and abets.
So let's get to the trade show.
Trade
Do
show.
you want to break it down?
No, you can go ahead.
Max shows up to the trade show where his plan is to assassinate Barry, the head of Spectacular Optical.
Yeah.
They're having, I don't know what a trade show is.
Really, you've never been to one, eh?
No,
No, it's just
not my life.
it's schmoozing, networking. There's food, there's dinner. Sometimes there's this. In this situation, there's a show.
So let me describe. Yeah, it's a stage, and people are sitting having dinner, watching that stage where Barry's on. This is a normal thing.
Yeah, this is like halfway through the trade show. So maybe he's already come out once or twice, did some talking about the optical place they run, and then he's coming out again because apparently he doesn't introduce himself. He just goes, "Hey, you know me," and then there's just chaos ensues.
Yeah, I've been to something like that, but they just threw change at me and I took it and walked away. How I discovered this movie was in a bar, and they had been playing Videodrome on the TVs, but I didn't catch it until the trade show. And so that's all I got to see. And I was like, this is blowing my mind. Could you imagine starting something, just being at a bar and walking into that trade show scene?
No, I go to bars to drink and talk to people. Jeremy goes to bars to drink and watch a movie.
I once saw hardcore sex on a bar TV screen.
See, what bar plays these?
I can't tell you.
Is it near
You
here?
gotta have a password. I was happy as hell. I was like, this is phenomenal. And I got to watch that whole trade show scene. Now the flesh gun comes out.
Oh, he just goes at him. He chases him.
He chases him.
He has a
and
clear
Barry
shot.
knows, oh my God, Max is here and he's not my slave right now.
No.
He is like, somebody help me. And everyone's just having a good time. Apparently you do at these trade shows when you're watching murder. You just continue your dinner. Yeah. And he's running back and forth on the stage and Max pulls out the flesh gun.
Ooh, it's fleshy.
Now, what does Max say when he shoots him?
I don't know.
You know.
Damn it.
Get the Videodrome! Long live the new flesh!
Long live the new flesh. Oh, that is such a creepy saying.
Long live the new flesh, where Max now puts bullets into Barry and Barry collapses. And these bullets, what I've read, because I didn't know how to describe what I'm seeing, cause pulsing tumors to burst Barry.
And that's the new flesh.
Yes.
That is just, it was a really gory
Yes.
scene.
Yes. Somewhere in the movie, Oblivion described that it wasn't a tumor that Videodrome was. It was a new organ growing. And that's what is looking like exterior of Barry is new organs are growing of Videodrome all over his body.
Yeah.
I assume Max was shot with his very bullet too in his hallucination, but this one's a very physical
Right.
exterior explosion. And maybe that's how Max looked when he was shot, but we didn't get to see that.
No.
So Barry, we get to see what it looks like to be shot with this new flesh.
Yeah, the new flesh was really, it was disconcerting to see it pulsating and slowly coming out, but it was like chunks of brain type flesh. It didn't look good at all.
So this is what I saw in a bar. I'm trying to order a drink, and that is what's happening. And I'm just staring at it. And she's trying to get my drink order, and I'm just like, "What are you putting on your TV right now?"
Yeah.
I was blown away. I loved it.
Yeah, I can imagine you being the person to
Yeah.
see that and go, I love
Yeah, this is
blood
the
and
right
flesh.
bar. This is
Yeah.
a great bar. And then we get to the finale. You said you saw him go to, it was a harbor, I believe,
Yeah, the harbor front.
where you picked up that he was in Toronto.
Yeah, the boat that he goes into says Toronto, but what's weirder is why did he go there?
It doesn't make any sense. I looked that up too. It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to go to the
Yeah,
harbor.
who told him that you need to now escape to this area? It's just like he knew to get away. But yeah, he runs away, finds this like empty boat. He knows someone has lived in it. It looked like a homeless encampment situation in this boat.
Yeah.
But he even picks up a pack of cigarettes to look for a smoke, and yeah, it's empty. Would you trust a cigarette you find just scattered around
James
the world?
Woods would.
Yeah.
James Woods would.
They were desperate for that.
That
smoke.
wasn't even his character. That was James Woods looking for his smoke. I tell you that. Where he sees a TV in this room.
hallucination.
Hallucination.
do you
And
think?
on this TV, Nikki, Blondie herself, ready to
Right.
get fucked.
Oh, I love the moaning. The moaning makes it very alluring.
Yeah.
I was being mesmerized by the moaning, to be honest.
This is the most disgusting ASMR film I've ever seen.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You've seen some.
The making out sounds at the
seen
beginning.
some-
Yeah,
wait,
I've seen worse.
wait.
The beginning making out sounds were weirder. Just moaning isn't weird. You hear moaning all the time.
No, I mean the film itself is gross while there's
Oh.
ASMR.
Yes.
What kind of ASMR are you watching?
Unfortunately, they kind of can't talk about. Moving on.
Okay.
Nikki tells him what to do
Mm-hmm.
and shows him what his future is gonna be.
Shows
in
them
the next, like, 10
exactly
seconds.
what to do. And that's put the fleshy gun to your head and pull the trigger.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna, but I guess he wants to join Nikki. He loves her. Killed all these people for her.
If that's the thing, I hate stories like that where you just meet somebody and you're like absolutely in love. But it's all part of it.
yeah, that doesn't happen.
So
You don't
it's not
fall in
really-
love with people. You go to bars looking at fleshy
Watching
horror.
Videodrome
Yeah.
at bars.
That's what love is.
So that's Videodrome. Wrapping it
Oh.
up, he assumes to be killing himself at the end.
No, I think there's something going on because that Oblivion guy goes,
Yeah.
or his daughter said something like he was ready to give up his body. He was okay to die, his flesh to be, his body to just die.
Yeah. He did transcend, is what I always read.
Yes.
I didn't take it that way, but it was about transcending into Videodrome. So he is the equivalent of Oblivion now.
Yes, I think there's something with that. I think once you shoot yourself and you're ready to give up your body or get murdered, the new flesh comes out.
Yeah, maybe he did that to Barry.
I think that something happens later on where Barry's new flesh turns into new Barry.
The Videodrome too?
I hope so. Is there a second thing?
No, there's not.
Oh,
You really want to see
Cronenberg.
what was going to happen, eh?
Honestly, they need to make a second one, knowing there isn't a second one. I just found out today there isn't a Eastern.
There's not an Eastern Provinces too.
Yeah, yeah, but I think there should be because I want to see where this goes.
Do you have the right movie for Eastern Promises?
No, I was quickly Googling the Cronenberg movies and I thought I saw something too.
Oh, okay. So you haven't seen it?
No, I remember Viggo Mortensen being in Eastern Provinces. I remember seeing it a long time ago.
Do you remember the naked spa fight?
Oh my God, yeah. That was... If you're
You were really excited.
if you're Cronenberg
Yeah.
and you're shooting a movie called Eastern Provinces
Yeah.
and there isn't a male naked bathhouse fight scene,
It doesn't, yeah.
what are you doing?
It's, who are you?
You know he's Cronenberg.
Seeing that junk fly, I felt fine. Like, I felt really like, yeah, this is exactly how you do a knife fight. It made the knives scarier because you're naked.
Oh,
There's no clothing to stop it. There's no illusion of like what's not happening. Every little scrape, I'm like, tuck your nutsack in.
yeah.
Do the
So-
flop and tuck.
So that's scary. You know why that's scary? Because legally, from a legal psychological standpoint, a gun is a less personal way to kill someone.
It's too easy.
But if you have a knife, you got to get up close.
And now imagine a guy naked and you have a knife. So themes, one of the biggest themes we're dealing with here, and it's so relevant today, media addiction. It's more relevant now. I don't even see how it was relevant when he made this. TV addiction, sure, okay. And I know people were like, yeah, you're like glued to the television, but you had to go home and watch it. Now it's everywhere. So it seems so much more relevant now. This movie's actually better now. Every year this movie is better for me.
Definitely. I loved it. I don't think there's a better time to watch this movie if you've never seen it or seen it for the second time or more. It was fantastic. That philosophy of his about TV, the TV being real, that screen being realer than what you're living.
You really took Oblivion's speeches to heart, eh?
There was something about him. Like he was very convincing.
What is it? The television is like the retina.
Yes.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me look up that definition.
That was a good quote. I didn't understand it. You seem to really take it in a lot more than me.
Yeah, because we're all attached to our phones. If this,
That's a nice little fleshy device.
you know what I
got
mean?
there.
If my flesh was wrapped around it, I would use it everywhere all the time.
I
And
wouldn't even
still
be
do.
upset if someone like morphed that. If they had to say you can never look at a phone again, or it's fleshed to your hand. I'm probably picking flesh hand.
Yeah, why not?
Like that's messed up.
I mean, why not?
To
though?
never have a
That's-
phone again.
I mean, you can have a microchip in your head,
Yeah.
right?
I think I got that in here as well. Like, I mean, we're dealing with body horror, media consumption physically,
Yes.
physical media consumption. Like we're putting smartwatches on, phones are constantly in our hands, and next is the stuff that's going to go in our heads.
That's why I loved the writing in the show because it's so telling of how times are now. I know it back then it was a dystopian, like what if the world was so messed up that the screens are reality and screens can get into your brain and into your spine? And watching a little S&M opens you up to this, that, and the other. I think that's happening now
Yeah, for sure.
constantly.
We get great predictions like reality TV, deep fake, influence culture, and algorithm addiction. All that was in there. Those words didn't even exist in 82.
No, you wouldn't think so, right?
All that is in there. And it was all correct.
Yeah, 100%. That's why this movie was it didn't feel irrelevant. The topics were very relevant.
Crazy relevant. Even though the technology wasn't, if you were willing to suspend belief and be in dystopian future, that's fine. It's actually better than ever because it's giving you the most basic form of what our problem is today in a Betamax tape.
Yeah, it was very trippy to see that because it felt like, aside from the effects and the cringy like twists and turns, the writing and the philosophy and the undertones were very much relatable to today.
Cronenberg's kid makes films now, and I would love to see him do something in this universe. Not a Videodrome 2, but like he nails it. with his filming.
That's a great idea.
Have you seen Possessor?
No, these are movies you find at bars.
I'm gonna
that
give you
eventually give me.
I'm gonna give you only Cronenberg, whether it's David or his son. I don't remember his son's name, but
I bet you his last name Cronenberg.
it might be.
Yep, maybe. For a dystopian philosophical movie with all these layers, this one really, I was surprised. I thought you were making me watch this movie because I'm into like that kinky stuff, but no, you were like, hey Mo, here's a movie, but it hit home, bro.
Yeah.
It hit home.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I sanitized all my needles afterwards.
Yeah, you got a lot of needles too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Most what the fuck moment. Okay, we got 1, the VCR stomach or vagina stomach. 2, the gun fleshed out hand. Or 3, tumor burst berry.
Man. Okay, so you picked 3 good ones though. All 3 the first one's good because it happens slowly. The cavity in his stomach turns into this fleshy pocket.
It's also the first time we get introduced to this weirdness.
Yeah, the flesh horror gets in there. And then Barry with the oozing blood. That's really, I think the first time you see a lot of blood coming out. Blood isn't a big thing until that point.
There's no blood, and then
Yeah.
Barry's all of a sudden gushing.
Well, there's a pool of blood just dripping out from
No,
the
but I
right.
meant before Barry. Yeah, there was no
yeah.
blood. Everyone was exploding or just makeup effect, but there was no blood. And then Barry's just like a pool of guck
And flesh.
Yeah, flesh.
What was the second option?
Gun flesh hand.
Oh man.
So to see that fleshy gun hand for the first time.
I think the prison wallet stomach, because so many things go in it. I know he carries the gun. That was a close second. I've seen people where in movies they're dying and you see like blood coming out and some flesh, but it was the insertion of objects, random objects like guns, someone's hand in your stomach, video cassettes just getting rammed in there. I think that was a what for sure. What the fuck is this movie moment?
That's a great moment. I mean, that is the first moment. I'm going to go with Tumor Burst Berry because I saw it in a bar. I was shocked by it. I was like, I got to see this movie. And he's just, his skull is like coming apart with just tumors.
Yeah, I think even the tumors are pulsating as they're coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have a match on that one, which is good. It means the movie's got multiple what the fuck moments.
I've been desensitized to stuff.
Okay. And so let's finish this with, if you could have a Videodrome style mod, what would you have? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have an answer for this.
What is a video style mod?
Well, you got the gun fleshed hand, you got the vagina stomach, something that you could consume media with your physical body. Now it could be up to date.
That Keanu Reeves movie, Johnny Mnemonic or something like that, where he gets data uploaded to his brain, kind of like in Matrix.
It's a horrible movie.
I know, but that's kind of dystopian, future-esque, data being uploaded.
So you just want data.
Oh man, to learn something and not to have to put any work into it, I love it. I feel like I do that now when I try and learn how to do something. I go on YouTube. I spend half an hour looking, 10, 15 minutes looking at separate videos, and then I've learned this task to go do. If I can just upload something, I would definitely do that. But that's kind of, we're almost there here.
Okay, I think I would want a patch cord that goes into a guitar that goes into my belly button. So it was like an umbilical cord of music.
Right.
And my whole body becomes the music.
Your body is the music or the instrument?
It is the music because it's plugged into me. So it's nothing. I'm not going to open my mouth and amplify it. I am the music.
That's weird.
Thank you.
That's really weird.
Saw it in a bar.
But you're not an instrument. You are music. So if I play music on my phone and plug into you, whatever music I'm playing, you turn into?
You're not going to hear it. I'm just going to have it.
That's weird.
I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to have it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if my answer counts, your answer counts.
Yeah, your answer is a lot better.
Practical.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, yours is...
Doesn't make sense.
You just want to experience things selfishly.
Okay, so that's Videodrome.
All right.
You don't have anything to close with?
I should say, whatever you do out there, whether you're piercing people or cutting people, definitely look it up, sanitize everything, and maybe look for somebody who can tell you how to poke people, like this guy.
You are really into this.
What do you mean? I thought that we're supposed to...
That ear piercing
sell
thing
something.
really got you, eh?
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I wouldn't let anybody pierce me with anything. unless it was a trained medical professional.
I thought you were going to say trans.
No. But I mean, they could be a trained medical professional.
I'm sure they are, but
Yeah, but
a piercing, I thought you
Listen,
meant something else.
Blondie
You meant
goes to James Woods' house, first date,
Yeah.
and is like, yeah, cut me right here a bunch of times. But people already had.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you already have a cut somewhere, I don't think cutting it again.
Says, looks like somebody beat me to it.
Yeah. I mean, he ended up poking her with a needle through the ears.
He did his due diligence. He put it in there.
That's right. I mean, man, what a first date.
It's the only problem with this film, I think. That first date, probably.
Yeah. That
Not a
first date.
great scene. We're not vouching for that scene, okay? All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for letting me watch that movie.
Thanks for watching the movie.
My God, you're welcome.
You did really good.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We're out.